But let me throw this trade at you. Bleacher Report put out bold trades, okay? Bold trades for every NBA team. Now, the Warriors cannot move Chris Paul until January. Similar to what happened with D'Angelo Russell. When you acquire someone, you're not allowed to trade them away immediately. You have to wait a little. So this wouldn't be able to go down for quite some time. But here was the Golden State Warriors bold trade that Bleacher Report suggested.
Hold on, let me get a drum roll here for you real quick. I got it. Spadoni's Beds. Go to Spadoni Cuts. Here we go. I love having this right there. There we go. It's going to be huge. You can't wait for this.
Golden State Warriors would receive Paul George. The Clippers would receive Chris Paul, Moses Moody, Kuminga, a 2026 top 10 protected first-round pick, and a 2028 top 10 protected first-round pick. What do you think?
It's interesting.
Kuminga, Moody, Chris Paul, 2 future firsts for Paul George.
Then you are saying screw it with the 2 timelines as Joe Lacob did. So this kind of fits into that, right? Like, just go all in on these next 3 years. Paul George scares me, though, giving up all that youth and depth, because this guy gets hurt too.
He's been
33. I get it.
Traded for a lot.
He's been, yes, and
a lot.
He's a good player. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's a very good player.
I agree.
But injuries, not showing up in the playoffs, sometimes playoff P, if you will. That makes me nervous, because I do think Kuminga or Moody, one of those guys, has a chance to be an all-star going forward. I do believe that. And if you are really going to tank it, I get it. If you're just going all in on these next 3 years, do it. But the first-round picks attached to it scare me as well. Scares me, Joe. That if Paul George gets hurt, you're screwed, is basically what it is.
And does that mean Wiggins is coming off the bench now?
Boy, do you just go small? You just go Steph, Dre, Clay, Wiggins, Paul George. You just do that. Just embrace it.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'd probably do the deal.
Okay.
I probably would. Perimeter defense alone, I think that would make them, they would be one of the favorites.
He's 33 years old.
I know he is, and he's old, but you know what? It would align with everything else that you're doing right now, which is the next 3 years are all that matters. I don't care about the future. I don't care about what happens down the line. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't do the deal. I probably would do the deal to push all my chips in. And this is also, obviously, with the wherewithal that Steph Curry's the one approving this.
Yeah, well, it would have to be, right?
Right.
Yes.
And so if Steph's in, I would probably do the deal. Look, perimeter defense alone, even if Paul George takes a dip offensively because of the usage rate going down, he's a facilitator in the half court, though not as good as Chris Paul. I think he gives you off the dribble stuff. He's a spot-up shooter when need be. The defense alone and the rebounding, I would bring him in. Absolutely.
So I
would absolutely do this.
He's got this year and next year under control, and then he's an unrestricted free agent. 2 years is what you got with him.
I mean, doesn't that line up with everything else that you're doing here?
Yeah, you're trying to get the 3, but probably the next 2 years is the ones you're looking at. Like, listen, if we don't win a title here, then it's kaput anyways. So, yeah, 888-957-9570. Are you in on that deal?
It's a bold move. You're giving up a lot. I totally acknowledge it could blow up right in your face. But if you're trying to win, because they've told me it's Clay, Steph, and Dre for the next 3 years.
Yes.
And if I know that knowledge right now, what are you hoarding? If the youngsters aren't going to be played by the coach, and you're not going to give them opportunities to develop and become who they are, then just go all in with the old guys. I'm banana boating it.
Xavier W. on the YouTube chat. Shasky wants us to be the LA Rams. Screw the youth mentality. We aren't the Lakers. Well, the Rams won a title. So I would love that comp, because that means Stephen Curry gets his 5th, Dre gets his 5th, and Clay gets his 5th.
Looking back at the Niners from when they didn't win with Harbaugh, I would have given anything of the future to secure a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Looking back on it.
Absolutely. If it guarantees you a title here, getting rid of Kuminga and Moody, yes, absolutely. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
I'm at the point now where I've given in. I wanted to keep youngsters. I wanted to be about, trying to have some semblance of a future. Now I'm all in on okay, so you guys have won me over. We're all in for the now, and the end is just going to be a big thud.
I guess the big question mark is, though, the injury concerns and going all old.
That's a huge
You're going
concern.
all old. And this is why I think the Nuggets are a tier above everyone else in the West, because when you start looking at the landscape of the West, old teams, man. Lakers, Anthony Davis, a lot of wear and tear. LeBron James, almost 40 years old. You got the Clippers, Kawhi, a lot of wear and tear. Paul George, a lot of wear and tear. Warriors, obviously, veteran-laden team, year removed from a championship, a lot of miles on those legs. That's just the top four off the top of my head. Nuggets, why did they win? They have depth, young depth, and they have two elite scorers and passers, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and length and size. Is this Paul George trade, hypothetically, is that putting you right on par with the Denver Nuggets to you, Joe Chasky?
Ooh.
I still have the Nuggets ahead of them.
I think you present a lot of problems for the Nuggets
maybe I put you
defensively.
right there with the Lakers. Maybe you're a tad below them right now, and that puts you right there with the Lakers, with their size, with their youth, with their depth.
I admit there is tremendous risk in this kind of a move. Like all these moves have risk. Staying with the youngsters and them not helping you at all has risk. Trading for Paul George and he gets hurt immediately, that is risk. Sticking with Chris Paul right now and he gets hurt. Heck, Draymond Green, Clay, and Steph could get hurt, right? Like, we're not even acknowledging that our own guys are fragile to a degree. I understand the amount of risk. I would ask you this. If you're a non-Patriot fan, wouldn't you have traded anything for one more run with Brady?
Man, God, it felt like
looking back,
it did feel like the writing was on the wall, though. In New England,
I know,
they were
but
like, who was Tom Brady throwing to? Tompkins? Who was his
so
name?
if I would have told you in that final
Kelvin
year,
Tompkins?
they had an opportunity to give themselves a better chance to win a title, wouldn't they? Like most Patriot fans now, like, yeah, we would have. I would have probably sacrificed whatever my future was for one more run with Brady.
Kimbrel Tompkins. Thank you, Sam Lubman. But yes. Yeah,
okay.
probably. Well,
Giants
because
fans.
to keep him in a Patriots uniform, I think meant a lot to them. Seeing him win a title with the Bucs probably left a bad taste in their mouth. Yes.
Absolutely. Let me ask Giants fans, San Francisco Giants fans. Looking back on it, wouldn't it have been nice if they would have done one more bold move to give Buster a true opportunity to win that fourth championship?
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, like, do you really care about a couple of years after? Like, the Giants have been crappy and they kept everything, and they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees in sports.
Honestly, if I'm going to jump in here really quick, people talk about the after because this is something I think about a lot.
What?
Like, I was just telling John here in the back, like, we all talk about, Steph Curry trying to maximize the most out of his window. Like, I'm about that, but Steph doesn't really care about the Warriors after he leaves. And I understand that. Like, it's not his prerogative to care. Me, as a fan, though, like, the people who are left with it is us, the fans, the paying consumers of these products. And so, yeah, the idea, Joe Lacob saying last year, we don't want to be bad for 5, 10 straight years, something like that. Like, I grew up with that with the Warriors. Like, growing up as a Warrior fan, it was that every single year. It was painful. It was embarrassing. I hated that. So when I hear this, like, oh, we'll just go back to being really, really bad again, just like that when Steph leaves. Like, to me, I don't want to go back to those days. I don't want to go back to the this day and suck era of Warriors basketball.
But
like,
this is a great point.
That's not
this is a great
fun
point
for me as a fan, as a consumer of this product. I don't look forward to that.
But, okay, so right now, the Giants don't suck, right? But they feel pretty mediocre and boring.
They're good, though. Right there, they're leading the wild card. Yes, but it does feel like when you compare them to the Atlanta Braves, it's like, okay, who are we taking here?
Like the Orioles bottomed out, right?
Yes.
Again, I'm using this as an example.
The Houston Astros, the
they
Baltimore
traded away
Orioles,
Machado, and they said, all right, there was our window. Let's bottom out. Now they're on the other side of that tunnel. Does anyone give a damn about the 5 years of suckage?
No.
So, like, the Warriors, at some point when Curry leaves, they're going to hit rock bottom. It's inevitable.
What happened with the Chicago Bulls? Win a title, and then immediately everyone left, and then they didn't make the playoffs.
Well, conversely, I mean, that's the Chicago Bulls. I mean, would you really want that history? I mean, look at the Chicago Bulls history. It's years and years of crap, then 8 years of Michael Jordan, we're the greatest. Years of crap, a blip of Derrick Rose, and then years of crap. I mean, the Bulls are literally 8 years, and then the rest of their history. The Warriors, I mean, if Steph leaves, I don't want a situation where the Warriors' history is all lots of bad, and then the Steph era,
but you
and
can't
then
have it
back
both
to your
ways.
relevancy.
See,
Why
but, like,
can't we have it both ways?
If you ask a Bulls fan, today, 1 second, Sam. If you ask a Bulls fan today, I give you that one extra year of Michael Jordan. They're all taking one extra year of Michael Jordan and that team for an opportunity to win a 7th title, as opposed to what they've over the 30 years of being miserable since.
See, I disagree. I think you can have both.
I mean,
like,
the question
why can't you have a great era and then follow that up with another good era?
The question there would be, would you rather have one more year of Michael Jordan and that squad, or would you want Derrick Rose to be healthy the rest of his career?
Well,
but that's what you're comparing it to, right? Because that would have been the future of that squad. And the Bulls, listen, this always goes back to
like nothing guarantees you anything on either end. Like, that's what we all have to acknowledge.
Well, no, and also the thing is, like, how much of a destination is this place once Stephen Curry's gone anyways? Like, that's another, like, that's going to be the question. Is Joey Lightyear's going to be able to land the next big star here in the Bay Area? Because that's what separates the elite of the elite of the elite franchises in sports, and especially in basketball. The Lakers, they're always going to be the Lakers. LeBron James came there willingly. The greatest basketball, some say, of all time. Miami Heat, they get those guys. They're trying to get Damian Lillard. They get the big fish hunting. It's like whales, right? Orcas, whatever they call it, Pat Riley. Boston Celtics, they seem to always get these guys. Can the Warriors join that? I think that's what Joey Lightyears is going to have to, sell to the fan base after Stephen Curry is gone. Can that happen? 888-957-9570.
Look, it's very fascinating. You're a big Kobe guy.
Yes, favorite player of all time.
Looking back on it, if there was a way where they could double down and give Kobe a better opportunity to win a championship, in retrospect, I don't even know if that opportunity presented itself. Wouldn't you have wanted them to do it?
See, my fandom is different than a lot of people's because I feel like today people follow Stephen Curry, follow LeBron James, follow them anywhere. I think As in
they're only like Steph fans?
Correct. I know a lot of people that just follow LeBron, so they were Heat fans, they were Cavs fans, now they're Laker fans. Yeah. I don't think I would have followed him if he went to the San Antonio Spurs.
No, I'm saying
like rooting Kobe, are you saying like rooting from afar?
No. I'm saying Kobe stays with the Lakers.
Okay.
Right? But
I misunderstood what you were saying.
But instead of salvaging all these picks or whatever, you trade everything
They tried to do that
for one more opportunity.
Yes, they tried to do it with Chris Paul, and it ruined everything.
But wasn't it worth it?
Yeah, well, if they had gotten him, I believe it would. It would have changed everything. That's one of the biggest what ifs in sports.
Gotcha.
Had they have gotten Chris Paul during the prime of his career, him and Kobe Bryant and potentially Dwight Howard would have changed everything. They would have had another opportunity, I believe, to win another title. Him getting 6, tying Jordan, would have changed everything. Said it falls through. Steve Nash comes in, hurt, puts a lot of load on Kobe Bryant, tears his Achilles. The rest is history. Yes, absolutely. You want to maximize your stars, but I also I understand the hesitancy of not wanting to get rid of all the youth and depth and going after these guys and potentially it blowing up in your face, but at least you went for it. We're talking about one of the greatest dynasties, Joe Shasky, in the history of sports, in the history of the Bay Area.
Well, and people don't want to hear this. I know they don't. I know they don't want to hear this. I know they're rolling their eyes as I'm about to spew this out. There is a financial component of trying to pay off the entire mortgage and the bills and all of the costs associated with running.
They're printing money over there. They are during the Curry era, but once he leaves,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
You're going to go into big time debt. Right. And so there is a realistic financial component to this where I understand when you're running the team and you're looking at the bottom line, you're saying to yourself, oh boy, once this guy goes, we're going to be in some financial turmoil.
Absolutely.
Which Warrior fans are not used to.
888-957-9570 is the number. Call or text the Comcast Business text line. Also hit us up on Twitch, on YouTube, and be sure to download that Odyssey app, favorite 95.7 The Game, and thousands of other stations and millions of podcasts, which are free on that Odyssey app. Sports, talk, music, news, and podcasts are all available completely free. You can catch every single Warriors game. We're talking Warriors live on the app, along with all the music and news the Bay Area needs. We got Dave Fleming coming up here in about 27 minutes. Get Dave Fleming's thoughts on all things Giants, Reds. Have a Curry question in there. Shohei Ohtani. Plus, we got Bobby Evans, 920, former general manager of the San Francisco Giants, to ask about him trying to get Shohei in a Giants uniform when he was available back in 2018. Joe Shasky.
My pivot since they re-signed Draymond Green, my entire stance has been altered, and I'm recalibrated. Everything that you need to do to win one more championship with Steph Curry is on the table for me.
Okay.
And that's my setting moving forward. I'm not going to worry about what happens post Steph Curry. We'll digest that and we'll worry about that down the line. I am emptying out the 401k to have the greatest opportunity to win another championship with these guys. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's a good point as John gets in my ear there. Well, how do you deal with the luxury tax here with all these guys? I guess you got to figure it out, but that's the second apron part, right, John? Okay. Right, Joe? Like, they hit that second apron, then you can't start trading those picks going over. But again, it's all about these next 2 years. That's what we with Paul George. Next 3 years. After that, whatever. If you win one more title, it's all gravy.